I'll do what any reasonably trained detective would do with a bag of peas on her face at a time like this.
Somehow I feel like this involves me.
There it is, man. Keep them applause going. LA's finest. I had to go back to season 1 to catch up with season 2. You got a truth speaker on the phone, Heather B. Come on, keep them going. Northern California's finest. From the big screen to the little screen to 10 toes down for the people in the community. The one and only executive producer herself, Gabrielle Union, Bay Area.
Hey! Let's go. Queen Scorpio.
Big Scorpio energy.
We might as well just get to our season, Gabby.
We're so close.
What's this? Scorpio season?
Libra
No,
right
we
now.
Libra.
We letting
We
them.
one
Yeah,
step.
yeah.
Okay.
One step away. We're close though.
One step close. Gabrielle, we got, of course, Heather B and Tracy on the line, Tracy G. And before we start talking,
Hey, Gab, what's up?
I want to play this clip I pulled from this event that just took place, and I wanted to get your feedback. Well, it's a clip of, actually, recent clip of you and Mr. Wade. I want to play this amazing moment that took place for Miami. Can we play that clip? I want Gabrielle to hear it real quick, if you got that.
Okay.
Let's go! My name is Gabrielle Union, and today we're going to be reading
Not that clip. Not that clip. Not that clip.
Let's go, baby! Holy! Let's go, baby!
And we back! We took a couple years off, but we back!
That was when the Heat made it to the finals, and your household exploded. You know what I mean? And I was thinking last night, because I'll just go honest with you, I've been picking the Lakers for this one, Gabrielle. I got it.
It was a little rough last night.
Yeah. Now, what do you think? What do you make of it? Can they come back?
You know what? I hope so. It's tough. Like when nobody thought they would make it this far. So you don't want to kind of just get excited about, well, we made it this far. You want to be able to, come in and compete. And, with the injuries to Goran and Bam's shoulder sprain and Jimmy turned that ankle. So, I mean, I hope that this is like one of those moments that are like, that's just like the stuff of a Disney movie, right? Where, the chips are stacked against you and, that these unlikely heroes step up. So I'm hoping that, somebody step up, because it's going to take a Herculean effort to get over Bron and AD. But, we keep hope alive, and we are excited that they made it this far, and it's a great way to build on next season. But it's going to take Rocky, Clubber Lane, Apollo Creed, everybody, Creed 1 and 2, to Bron is like LeBron is not human. There's no way how are you at the peak of your career for 16 seasons, 17 seasons? He's that's a once in a lifetime talent that, so good luck. Don't let them both get off. Like Bron and AD can't both, have major games. You got to, pick a struggle. So it's going to be a challenge for sure. It's going to be a challenge.
That's funny, Gabby. What's up? Oh, go ahead, Sway. Go ahead.
No, when she brought up LeBron, I know how Dwayne and LeBron are like brothers, and I wonder if is he texting them like like teasing them, or does the tease come after the series?
Oh no, they don't. He would never tease Bron in that kind of way. Like as brothers, they just want the best for each other. So it's like he would love it if the Heat won, but Bron averaged 60. He's and I don't know, because I think maybe in other series, he might add his 2 cents about how Bron could look out for this or think about that. But I don't think he's going to give too many tips in the Heat series. I don't think.
You don't see that happening. Gabrielle Union is with us.
I don't see that happening. Not with, it's Miami. That's Wade County. That's Wade County, baby, all day, every day. So that organization will always be, in the heart, in our family. That we will always root for the Heat. But yeah, you want the brotherhood to do well.
Yeah, I like that. Go ahead, HB. Gabrielle Union is with us.
Yeah, no, Gabby, what's up? It's Heather. I was going to kind of build off of what Sway was about to say to you as well. Like, it must be tough for you as a female watching all of this, because when you are in the studio, you come to the show, you mention how all of y'all are just cool. You, Mello, Lala, like all of it. So how do you root for people during these games? It would drive me nuts because Sway be back and forth with me, and we don't personally know anybody that's playing. How do you juggle all of that?
Well, it's like we say with our crew of friends, family over everything, and we all we got. And you recognize that will always be bigger than basketball. You know what I mean? And what the guys do, how they're able to use their platform that basketball afforded them to change the world. You know what I mean? I saw last night Bron got 10,000 people to volunteer for the election. Mm-hmm. These guys were the ones that led that charge to get the NBA owners to make sure that the arenas were able to be used as polling sites. So when you put it like, these guys and their friendships and us all being family, if we can all use our collective platform and power and resources to make the world better, the game feels small. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not going to say who cares, because that's, we all care because we all love sports, but it's way bigger than basketball. And when you can't reduce what Carmelo Anthony does for the world to what he does for, that team, which was amazing. And watching, Mel, get off and be so dominant when, last year, a couple years, they were trying to get him out of the league. And it's like, no, basketball is just a platform for them to change the world. And they do. So we always, we never lose that perspective. It's like, okay, wow, okay, you did that. You did that on the court. But wow, holy, wow. What you guys are doing in the world it trumps everything.
Oh, I love it, man. Tracy, go ahead, jump in. I know you love Gabrielle too. So
I really love having Gabby, my Scorpio sis. I feel like you help us, especially women, make so much sense of this wild, kooky, complicated world, and you're just like one big wide tooth comb helping us detangle shit. So I appreciate you, my girl.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Receive it as genuine. Earlier this morning, we were just trying to send love and wrap our arms figuratively around Chrissy Teigen and John Legend and this loss that they bravely shared with us. And we went into conversation about folks who are criticizing their choice to share this through imagery, through their caption with the world. And we were just confused where, one, obviously there's so many different ways to grieve. And then two, I'm kind of like, what? We thought that only the moments where we stand in the sun should be documented and not when we're like right in the center of a storm and people are just more comfortable with happy moments. Can you just speak about just sharing online? You're so transparent yourself. How do you feel about people who say there should be a limit? There should be boundaries. Private moments should be kept private.
Well, and I think that's awesome for you. You know what I mean? So whatever your personal boundaries are, you should do that. You should create those boundaries for yourself. But you don't have the right to police anyone else's boundaries and how they grieve and how they share with the world. And when Dwayne and I went through, multiple miscarriages, it was what added to the grief is that it feels like it's only happening to you. And our thing is the more transparent you can be, especially when you have a platform that reaches so many people, the more transparent that you can be about your journey, provided it is, healthy and safe for you to do that, that's what leads to healing and a sense of community. When you hold all of your pain and all of the steps that you took to heal from other people, whether that's just your own family or friends or your neighborhood, it slows down progress because people feel like you're fighting battles all on your own. So last night, because obviously they're good friends of ours, when, we heard the news, we saw the news, during the game. And again, it's like, It's so much bigger than basketball. And me and Dee just broke down because, obviously they're our friends and we've experienced it. And so you just know the enormity of that loss, but you also know with them sharing, they are reaching so many people who are suffering, who have been suffering in silence, and feel, you take those kind of losses and you turn it personal. And when it has nothing to do with anything, it has nothing to do with your character. It has nothing to do with who you are. It's just these things happen, and every time it's horrendous and brutal, and it just is heartbreaking. And for them to share that with the world and to create more community for people who have suffered these kind of losses, so they know you don't have to do it alone, and to be the face and to lead in that way from the front. I applaud them in their time of, just heartbreaking loss. And I just know how much it helps. Every time I talk about something awful that I've experienced, and I talk about that, people every single time, whether that's sexual assault, infertility, toxic workplaces, every time I speak out, it does lead to change and a greater sense of community. So I applaud them. And for those who have, some challenges with that or who have opinions about that, I would ask myself, why the hell do I care? Like, create your own boundaries, do what's best for you. But it's like, what does that have to do with you or how you grieve or how you move through your day? And if it does have that kind of impact where you feel the need to talk about it or to send them negativity, you got to really check yourself and be like, ooh, baby, it could be time. This could be a sign that you need some other kind of help, and you should get it.
You're hearing from you're hearing the voice of a Time 100 recipient. Congratulations on the Time 100 most influential people in the world. That's Gabrielle Union. That's a round of applause. That's Northern Cali, HB. That's Northern Cali. It's not being on the Time 100 isn't something you aim for. That's something that people vote on. I wonder, where does that rank for you? And the reason why people are voting on it is because of the impact you made. Like you said, whether you're standing up against toxic energy in the workplace, whether you're taking control of your own career and becoming, an executive producer, whether you're talking about social issues, or you're defending those who need it the most. And I love your transparency, and the fact that you're a young black girl that's experienced this, and we seeing how you affect people around the world. It's not easy though. Like, it's not easy. Like, no. What is it that no. Like when you go against corporate America and you say, look, I'm being treated unfairly. This ain't right. Most times, most people either don't hear you, they act like they don't hear you, they turn their back. You got to go home and contend with that. When you fight for your rights as a human being, your civil rights, or whether you're fighting for the rights of your family, you hear all this feedback, then you got to go home and deal with it. How do you stay stable? What is it that you grab from, Gabrielle? What keeps you sane and not make you just want to run away from all of this when you're facing these adversities?
Oh, therapy, okay. And more therapy. To be honest, because it is at times soul crushing, and it's hard, and it does take a toll on your whole family. And I need help, and that's where therapy comes in. In addition to that, I do guided meditation. You guys know Logan Browning from Dear White People.
Yeah.
She does them. And, they have a bunch on YouTube. For me, it's just finding somebody whose voice doesn't annoy me. And I've been listening to Logan, and she's really great. I like her. Her voice feels very soothing. Or I listen to, like, positive affirmations podcasts. You know what I mean? Because if you want to do different and you want to see different, you got to do everything different. You know what I mean? Because doing the same thing, expecting different results is madness. So I turned 40 and I was just like, I don't want to do it like this. There has to be another way of existing, of doing business, of creating content, and of being of service. And I just got to figure out what that looks like for me. But yeah, because it's like I look at like how like Issa Rae and Lena Waithe and the younger generation is so unapologetically Black, unapologetically embracing FUBU for us, by us, unapologetically creating spaces, safe spaces for so many more people, and they're not like doing it like mealy mouth and being worried about shit. Like they just do it. And us older generation, we've always been so worried about if I stick my neck out, I'm the first to get their head cut off. And where does that leave me in this industry? Am I going to get put out? Am I going to, and they're just like, you can't put me out when it's my thing. When I created it, you can't put me out of the house that I built and the table that I created. And I'm going to help you build your house and your table so you can invite more people in. And you see that, and it's like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, girl, the water's warm. Come on in. There's another way. And so we're like, okay. And but it's hard, and it is. It can be soul crushing, and you might not always be received in the way that you think you should, but it's worth it. And I can sleep at night. I don't have to worry about did I do the right thing. I will always err on the side of what is best for my people and what is best for employees.
Gabrielle Union, we're talking about L.A. finest. Big round of applause for that. And the proof is in the pudding. When I look at Jessica Alba and I look at both of your careers, from all the hit movies, all the success you've had, but the unspoken truth is how great you guys are doing in business as business people, And so I would imagine doing L.A. finest. What is it like doing it from the EP position as opposed to the acting position? Like, are you worried about everything that happens? Like, if somebody spills water, are you looking at the cost? Like,
not quite like that.
Okay.
But you look at it differently, because we've been on the other side as well, and we've had horrible experiences, and you want to make sure that you are not creating more horrible experiences for people. And then those good experiences that we've had over careers of 25 years, you want to try to replicate that for your production. You know what I mean? And for us, like as parents, as active parents, we don't want to waste anyone's time. We don't want to call you in early. We don't want to keep you any later than absolutely necessary. We want you to be able to be an active participant in your family. So we really lean into efficiency and just creating the production we always wanted to see. So our production is family friendly. We have no problem with, breastfeeding mothers and making sure we have plenty of time for people to do the things that they need for their families. It's not work first, everything else is, fighting for second. It's how can we figure out a way to create the best show possible. We treat people well, we pay people fairly, and we make sure that they have the ability to be an active participant in their life. When people are like, I'm all I have is this job. We want to make sure you at least have time to find other things that you love. But we got that from, we both lead very, very big lives. Jess has created a multi-billion-dollar company just on the strength of wanting safer, healthier products for people. And for her to do that as a Mexican-American woman, and be representing for Latinx people, that's huge. And so, like, when I was looking for who's going to be my partner in this, I wanted to make sure we represented, Black and brown women as best as we could, and to create more. So that's what we did. That's what we're trying to do.
Well,
there's a lot of room for improvement.
I don't know, man. I think y'all got Cagney and Lacey beat.
Cagney and Lacey.
I don't know if Gabrielle know Cagney and Lacey. Do you know Cagney and Lacey, Gabrielle?
I do. No. Oh. No, I do. What's crazy is Jessica's father-in-law from Hill Street Blues, Mike Warren, UCLA point guard great. He's played my father many times, but, he's the OG, with the Hill Street Blues, and he came up right at the same time as Cagney and Lacey. And what's crazy is that in all of these years, and as many like cop shows and buddy type shows, they've never had two women of color in the leads. And they certainly haven't had those same two women as executive producers. So Cagney and Lacey was an amazing stepping stone, I think, for women. But LA's Finest is a stepping stone that you can have two women of color. They don't have to be, the sassy sidekick. We can be the leads of our own shows, and we can still be successful. So
you guys do well. It's fun. The timing is great. I like watching it. I like seeing John Sally and all these different people pop up on the screen, right? And I was curious. I watch you play a police officer on TV really well. And I want to know, by studying and researching what it is a cop does, how it shapes your opinion on everything being discussed about police in this country, like, defunding or brutality, or has that helped at all, or is it just a role?
For us, it's never just a role. I wish I had the luxury of just being like, oh, it's just a role and nobody cares. Everything matters. Every frame matters. Every story matters. Every depiction matters. And this is where there is a lot of room for improvement, because the reality is we created pure fantasy. The cop world that we are showing on TV does not exist. We might as well be in Narnia or the Middle Earth, or, with the hobbits. Yeah. Because it does not reflect the reality that we see on the news every night. So knowing that, it's like in season 3, if we are, blessed enough to get a season 3, we have to explore what it looks like to defund the police, or if policing as we know, is abolished, like what does that look like? Because that's the job of storytellers, is to accurately and adequately reflect, the realities. And right now, I don't think there's a cop narrative that's ever been done that adequately and accurately depicts the relationship between law enforcement and, marginalized communities. It doesn't exist. So, and that includes us. So our show is pure fantasy, escapism. Don't look to our show to be an accurate depiction of policing, because it's not. So from there, it's how do you create a show that centers law enforcement without being propaganda, and that is the challenge for many shows, because it's never been done.
Gabrielle Union, man, a round of applause. Get the new book, Welcome to the Party. These are flawless. The new company. I mean, you're doing it all. And I want to thank you for being on the show. We haven't seen each other since Vegas, and I just want to let you know I love you. I respect you. I respect Dwayne and your entire family and everything that you're doing. And if I ever showed you anything differently, please forgive me. It wasn't my intent. So I just want to say that to you, Gabrielle, and continue success.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Continue success, and give it up for Gabrielle Union. Hey, tell Heather where you from real quick before you go.
Oh, gosh, shut up, Sway.
I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska, but I grew up in the Bay Area.
Bong.
Oh. Okay. Damn.
Sway, stop playing with me. Sway, us Scorpios, we do our homework. And we just be quiet until the pop quiz comes, and we'll be like, dot, 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 boom, take your little quiz and go away.
You already know. Because we talked about it. We talked about.
We done talk. Me and Gabrielle done talk hot links, Sway, and all kind of food and wine and everything. Stop playing with me, Sway. I told you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop playing. She grew up in the Bay, though. Shit. All right, thank you, Gabrielle. Have a beautiful day. Okay. Okay.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Take care. All right. Thank you.